My DPS video that I posted a few months ago is officially out of date. Arguably, it was wrong as soon as I posted it. Trev the Dev made a video about getting mathematically optimized DPS and ended up using Ricard's rapier for most of the game, but it kind of depends on your definition of DPS. I was working under sustained damage per second, while Ricard's has really high DPS for only a short time. That's why I didn't include the Dragon Torso Stone as well. The thing is, though, a new glitch was found that puts both of those to shame. The damage isn't quite as sustainable as spamming R1 with the Painting Guardian Sword, but it is significantly more than pressing R2 twice with Ricard's rapier. On top of that, it doesn't and can't use any weapon buffs, meaning that the DLC will be shredded even faster. I'll grab the Dragon Torso Stone for this run just to see if I can even make use of it, but honestly, don't expect much. Anyway, the setup is pretty simple and is a lot simpler than the actual explanation of the glitch, so let's do that first. Starting class doesn't really matter since I'll be duping souls anyway, so I'm just going to start as the thief so I can get out of the asylum as quickly as possible. First and foremost, I'm going to grab the S-Stock. This won't be our main weapon, but it will make our weapon significantly better. That'll make more sense soon, I promise. Anyway, since I'm in New Londo anyway, I'm going to grab the compound bow, obliterate Ingward, and grab the very large ember for later. Since I already have the very large ember, I might as well grab the large ember now too. The easiest way to do that right now is with the depths clip. Simply jump over the ladder into the berg, slide down to the bottom, climb back up so you pop up on top of the rail, roll over the wall, drop out of bounds, fall onto the wall below, drop onto the depths, and follow a specific path to get back in bounds. I would grab the large Titanite shard here, but I have 2 chances with the crystal lizards anyway, so I'm not going to worry about it. Running back up to the large ember is no issue, and I'm going to grab Laryngeus now too. I don't think I'll end up using Power Within for various reasons, but just in case. Anyway, with all that setup out of the way, it's time to get the main weapon I'll be using for this build, for lack of a better term. On the way to the Taurus Demon, I made sure to get the Titanite chunk from the Black Knight in the Berg. Also the Crystal Lizard for a large shard, either resetting here until I get one, or doing the same with the Lizard and Darkroot, or just using Send Skip, I guess. Either way, the final piece of this puzzle is the Demon's Great Axe, which is a relatively rare drop from the Taurus Demon. 5% without 10 humanity, 10% with. Not too bad, but it might take backing up your save a few times. Either that or you could just buy it from Shiva, but that's really out of the way. Now that I have everything I need, I'm going to head over to Andre, dupe the upgrade materials to get the axe to plus 14. I'm waiting to even use a slab for crystal, since obviously that'll be higher damage and I want the highest possible DPS, and I'm going to dupe enough souls to get strength and endurance to 99. Technically 99 endurance doesn't matter, just enough to fast roll with the S-Stock and Great Axe equipped, but regardless. Alright, now to show off the glitch. It's a little bit complicated, especially the first step, but it's very doable. You need to hold block and not let go of it under any circumstances, jump, go into the menu, while in the air, press use on an item with a yes/no prompt. The easiest way to do this is by putting the dark sign at the top of your inventory, and 1 frame after pressing the use item button, press start. This is the hardest part by far, and is the only frame perfect input you'll need to do. You'll know you got it if there's text that says use selected item in your stamina bar if your UI scale is at 1. You can let go of block at this point. You can also technically do this while rolling, but you barely have enough time to do the menuing. If you can't jump while blocking, try jumping immediately after pressing block. Anyway, there's no time pressure anymore, so open the equipment menu, put any bow in your left hand, I'm using the compound bow here, then open the menu again, hover over the weapon you want to transfer the moves from the S-Stock onto, in this case the Great Axe, and turn around, wait just a moment and select it. You should now be two-handing the Great Axe in your left hand with the S-Stock sheathed in your right. If you attack, you were too early, and if you're only holding the weapon in your left hand, you were too late. This method might only work as a female character. I know somebody said that you can do this glitch as a male character, but the method might be different. I'm not actually sure. Now, the running attack, among a couple others, of the Great Axe will be replaced with the moves from the S-Stock. Incredibly fast attacks on an incredibly heavy weapon. This will last as long as you two-hand the weapon, so dying, warping, quitting, they're all safe, but things like upgrading or switching weapons will cancel the glitch and you'll have to do it again. Real quick, I'm going to grab the red Tearstone ring, get a dragon skill from the undead dragon, or a drake, that thing is annoying to fight, dupe it, and get the dragon torso stone. I'm also going to show off the damage on the gargoyles, as you can see. It is pretty absurd. So the damage you just saw against the gargoyles was pretty absurd. However, obviously this is only plus 14, not even crystal and not even max upgrade. So obviously there's room to increase our damage at least a little bit. Hyper mode isn't really an option because using the pyromancy flame will take away um, the moveswap, and then you need to perform it again, which is really difficult in the short amount of time that Power Within gives you, especially if you also have RTSR on and want to do hyper mode so you're not at max health. So I won't be using hyper mode. Technically, it's possible to use it for a little bit, but it's insanely difficult and I can't do it. So if you want to call this not technically the highest DPS, whatever, feel free. But remember that I'm going for the highest sustained DPS anyway. And this is actually it's kind of more sustainable than when you use any sort of buff, because like this can't use weapon buffs because you cannot buff weapons in your left hand. But that's not necessarily a bad thing because weapon buffs only last for a little bit anyway. So we technically have more sustained damage, even if the stamina usage makes it kind of less sustainable. I don't know, you'll see. The Stray Demon will be a lot longer of a fight. Hopefully that'll put me in RTSR range. Actually, I have no idea what kind of health I'd need for that. No, it did not. It doesn't matter. RTSR does increase our damage a lot by about 1.5 times. I mean, more because it's a 1.2 motion value, so it would be like 1.8 times the base damage, which, I don't know, damage calculations are confusing and weird. It increases our damage a lot, but, I mean, obviously it's not necessary. That damage is still absurd. It is extremely difficult to use the move swap glitch in the time that Power Within gives you. But the stamina restoration would be extremely useful, and plus that 40% damage boost is technically less than what you'd get with Red Tear Stone Ring. And you can move swap off of the Sanctus, but there's not really any reason to because their running attack isn't much faster or than the Demon Great Axe running attack. The S-Stock is only used because it has 2 hits and it's a lot faster than the spear running attack. I'm just going to wait for the poison to give me RTSR before using a purple moss clump. And now I get to show off the actual damage that RTSR will give us. And again, this is only plus 14, not crystal plus 5, but... that damage is absurd. Jesus. Now, I would fight Ceaseless normally if I wasn't terrified of its hitboxes. So, I'm just going to do the cheese and then show off the damage there. So the Dragon Torso Stone, I believe, is a 1/3 increase, so it'll divide your damage by 3 and then add that to your damage. So, you know, if you have 100 damage, you'll do 133. I don't know how it interacts with motion values. I think it's multiplicative with RTSR. I'm pretty sure, but it's like, I don't know, it's weird. Motion values are weird. I think it adds to your base damage, and then that goes with your with RTSR with the 1.2 or 1.5 times motion value multiplier. Anyway, point is, so this is our damage without Dragon Torso buff, 2150. If we look at our AR, it's 1026. So if I use the buff, now our AR is 1333. So yeah, about a third. And as you can see, it's already gone. It disappeared in the time that it took me to look in the menu. 2978, which is like insane damage, right? Especially for how quickly it comes out, but it's just so difficult to get that buff on most bosses, so it's really not worth it, and it is not sustainable damage-wise. I think this is gonna be funny. I'm gonna try using Torso Stone buff. Oh, okay. Wow, I was actually able to get the Torso Stone buff. I didn't use RTSR, but not like I needed it. And it's not like I'm at the highest possible DPS anyway. Also, those balls have a divot in them? I've never noticed that. I guess that makes them look more like fire bombs rather than just the iron balls that this guy is dropping, or stone balls, whatever. Huh. Anyway. Once I get crystal, I'll actually start using RTSR and doing real damage instead of the puny numbers that I've been doing so far, just messing around. Also, in case you're wondering how difficult going through levels is, it's not. I'm also not going to worry about RTSR on Orange and Smo. Probably not Nito either, actually. Just because dying in one hit will make them harder. And having high DPS, while also for funny numbers, also is partially to make the game easier, right? So, and I don't feel like spending forever on Nito when I could just shred him immediately. Anyway. And it's not like it's particularly difficult to hitless ONS, like I just did it, right? But I don't know, safety. Also, immediate stagger? That's really funny. Alright, I just gotta place the Lord Vessel, and then go get the Crystal Ember, and I can actually get to decent damage. Crystal Ember achieved, I think. Yeah. Since I upgraded the weapon, I actually need to redo the glitch. And I am not consistent at it yet. Especially doing, like, you have to jump right immediately after blocking, which really messes me up. But it's not... Oh, I completely forgot to just undo that. Okay. It's not, like, super difficult, but it is definitely difficult to be consistent. Especially since, you know, it's a frame-perfect input after some kind of complicated inputs, like block jump, and then open the menu, use item, and then start a frame later. But usually it doesn't take me too long. There we go. Then you just equip the bow, and then hover over this, and then turn around and press the button. There you go. Super easy. I mean, it's super easy after you do the frame perfect input at least. Alright, let's see our damage. I'm gonna Dragon Torso Stone. I don't know if I'll actually be able to pull off the hit. Maybe if I run up while he's freaking out from this crystal break. Hey-ya. Yep, okay. I got the damage. It only works on one hit. Jesus, that's insane. I'm not even gonna bother grabbing the Hornet Ring. Just because, obviously, parries aren't gonna do nearly as much damage, even against Gwyn. Oh my god. Right. Now I'm gonna show off the actual damage on safe. There we go, much better. And I'm gonna kill her too quickly for her to limp, so it won't be sad. Okay. Without RTSR. 15, 14. 25, 24. That's funny damage. You know, I don't know if it'd be possible to do one king like this, actually. Not entirely sure. Oops. That was not the attack I was expecting. What? Well, two kings is definitely possible. Jesus. I think Pinwheel is going to be funny. I'm not going to worry about using RTSR and Pinwheel, but I am going to use Dragon Torso Stone. Pretty sure I'll one-shot him regardless, though. No, I missed the second... Oh, whatever. Also, funny thing about this build, enemies that are normally really threatening and annoying and difficult, like these skeleton beasts, well, they're not anymore. Like I said, I'm not really going to worry about RTSR on Nito. Don't think that's super necessary. Oops. Okay, well, you know, maybe I'll have RTSR anyway. Okay, never mind. Oh my god. It's just Nito, and I have absurd damage. This is so dumb. I should not be dying to Nito. I'm just letting my hubris get the best of me. I should know better by now. Okay, whatever. This is fine. Yeah. There we go. Damage. See, one more. Oh, wait. That's not what I meant to do. That's not good. This is fine. Everything's fine. There we go. I'm not really going to worry about showing off Bit of Chaos, because, you know, obviously that's the same as it always is. So the easiest way to get, or actually probably the only way to get RTSR here, aside from, you know, taking damage before entering the DLC portal, which is an absurdly long run for, you know, this, Um, the easiest way to do it without cheating would be to use Power Within, and then you rest at the bonfire, and that'll give you another cast of Power Within, while the Power Within that you just casted is still draining your health. And then once that runs out, you use the second cast of Power Within, quit out once you get into RTSR range, because that'll cancel Power Within. But that would take forever. I'd have to redo the glitch. So instead, I'm just going to use DSR Gadget to set my HP to 1 and have RTSR that way, because I want to get this video out soon. Okay, I can't really do a running attack if you're that close. There we go. Yeah. What's our damage like? Oh, yeah. Did that stagger? I actually have no idea if that staggered, because it doesn't really matter. Alright, Artorias time. This shouldn't be too difficult. Just gotta avoid like 2 attacks probably. Guess we'll see. Oh yeah. I probably could have stunned, like done a stun of chains, but that didn't stagger? Okay, whatever. There we go. Easy. I'm gonna go fight Calamite before Manus, just because I want to use Manus as a demonstration, because he's a lot easier to use than Calamite. You'll see in a second. This isn't technically the highest possible DPS, because you can use hyper mode with the setup, only for 20 seconds, because it'll kill you, and you can't use Sanctus. But like, regardless. Anyway. Yeah, damage. Jesus Christ. And there it is. That was so dumb. This is the highest sustained DPS you can get with this build, as far as I know. There might be a better weapon for this, but the Demon Great Axe has the highest AR in the game. And since you can't buff, you know, I'm pretty sure that the Demon's Great Axe is, in fact, the best weapon for this. But with like damage types and stuff, there might be something different for each boss. But this, as far as I know, this is the highest possible sustained AR output in Dark Souls with this glitch. Okay, so Manus. Like I said, I was leaving Manus for last because I want to show you something. I want to use it as a little test. That was a terribly timed roll, and I still didn't get hit. Okay, so keep in mind that proportion of the health bar. The amount of damage is insane. Sure, yes, I agree. But the amount of the health bar that took away, I completely messed up the running attack. And keep in mind that most attacks, in fact, all attacks, do significantly less damage than that, right? Even the running attack with this weapon will only do like less than half of that most of the time. And just like keep in mind that I did over a third of his health bar with a single attack. Or, well, you know, a double attack, but it's a running attack. That's a single R1 press. It's a single attack. Right, now I'm going to shred Gwyn real quick, and then we'll go back to the whole Manus thing. I can't parry, which shouldn't be an issue with how quickly I'm going to kill him. Could probably actually stagger lock him, but... Uh-oh. Okay, that's good. There we go. Nice and easy. Now, in my other DPS video, the true DPS one, not the one showing off the DPS build, I went through all of the bosses in New Game Plus, or in New Game Plus 6, which is the highest scaling New Game, Journey 7, whatever. I'm going to use Cheat Engine to set myself to New Game Plus 6, and then go to Manus and show you the damage proportional. Now that I'm in New Game Plus 7, oops. Okay, hold on. If I could not mess up the running attack. There we go. So yeah, proportionally, like significantly less, but that damage is still absurd. And I'm gonna cut to footage, or I'm gonna overlay footage from that other DPS video I did, showing the kind of damage I did there. Just to give you an idea of how different the build is. Oops, I genuinely just messed up the I mean, just to give you an idea of how differently the build works, but also the kind of damage that you can expect from both of them in you know, the highest scaling new game. So obviously if you're doing this in new game, you're going to be doing a lot more damage relative. So like, there we go. And like, it is admittedly significantly harder to pull off this than just spamming R1. But like, with the kind of damage you're getting, you only need to do it a few times, especially in new game. So like, arguably this build is easier to use. I don't know. You're also getting a lot more attack opportunities with your full damage rather than, you know, just 1 or 2 R2s as opposed to emptying your stamina bar, or 1 or 2 R1s rather than emptying your stamina bar with R1s, which would be your actual highest DPS with that. Well, with this, you know, you can get 2 running attacks off, which will only happen with Manus with like his ring attack, but regardless, you know. And obviously Manus is one of the bosses where that you can probably attack least often of any boss in the game. Manus is incredibly aggressive compared to most other bosses, but oh my god. I was definitely expecting that to kill, but whatever. Are you kidding me? Okay. And then obviously, you know, if your fight lasts longer than your buff with the other build, then it's just not going to have good DPS at all. While with this, you know, this is forever. It doesn't matter how long your fight takes, you will always have this DPS. So, so yeah, I think this is a really cool, fun, and interesting build. I question whether or not to call it a build because it's a glitch, right? But it's a glitch build. It's a build revolving around the glitch to get absurd DPS that you couldn't get otherwise. So yeah, this glitch was found pretty recently. So I'm sure once all the kinks are ironed out and things get figured out better, the damage will increase. But for now, as of the glitch just being discovered, as far as I know, this is the highest possible DPS. Again, there might be a better weapon. There might be better weapons for individual bosses as well. But as far as I know, this is the highest AR output. Yeah. Semantics. Whatever. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I love you all. I would especially like to thank V, Mana Rock, Ryan Rickard, and Funny Guy 619 for supporting the channel. And I don't know how to end this.